What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be fooling around with Death Trash for the first time in about a year and a half, actually. It's been a really long time since we covered this one. And that's largely because I've been avoiding covering it because there hasn't really been any content put out for the game during that time. Record scratch, so on and so forth. So you might be asking yourself, like, why the hell are you covering the game now then? Like, why did you give in on that? Well, one, partially because of the slowness of everything right now in indie gaming, due to the fact that everything's kind of like in a soft recession right now and nobody wants to look it in the eye or address it, due to the fact that everybody's back at work from home and everything else after an extended period of working from home. Gaming is really slow right now, and investors aren't investing in anything, and thus games are not coming out. Like, publishers have kind of slowed their investment crusade, developers have slowed down on their work, so that's why there's been a lot of touch-up titles that we've been taking a look at over the course of the last month or two. Up until next February or March, there's really not that many things coming out that interest me. And so I decided to check back in on it just to remind people, because it's been a year and a half since we played the game last, that the game still exists and that if you purchase it now, there's about 10 hours of gameplay inside of here. And the game is made by a fastidious man who actually is cooking up a product that is intended to be incredibly polished and very, very bug-free, which is why the early access development is taking so long. And in fact, on top of that, you can take a look at Death Trash's update history, and you'll note that they have been updating. They've been doing girthy bug fixing and like chunky polish passes pretty much every 1 to 3 months on the dot since the last time that we covered the game. And so from what I understand, after having crawled through all of the developers' forum posts, as of the end of October, he said that over the last year and a half, they've been implementing technical things that are required in order to build out the game further in a bug-free and polished way. And as of right now, he feels as though they are most of the way done with all of the technical changes that need to happen, which means this is probably like a really good time, especially with the winter sale coming up, to check out this game, because it sounds like the content mill is about to start rolling, and that's what I was waiting for. So for those among you that have never seen this game before, you don't know what it is. What is Death Trash? Death Trash is quite possibly in the top 10 most unique RPGs on Steam. It's up there with like Pathologic 2 and like a number of the other really, really weird games that you can't quite describe to people until they actually play it. As you've been able to see from kind of like the topography around here and what we've been interacting with, there's kind of, a fleshy, bloody thing going on with this game. It's very punk rock, but at its core, this is a post-apocalyptic, open-world, Fallout-inspired, isometric shooter that allows you to go out into a wasteland that you don't really understand. So you wake up inside of like a crypto sarcophagi. Effectively, in this game, you wake up inside of like a cryo-sleep pod, and after getting out of it, you find that you're in sort of like a wasteland. Oh my god, what is happening here? Well, I did it anyways. You wake up in the wasteland, and the wasteland is being overtaken by flesh. There's meat and tentacles growing everywhere. And everyone around you just sort of accepts this. They eat the tentacles off the ground. They eat the flesh that's growing off the wall. They don't really seem to care that the flesh is spreading these big blood puddles all over the place. They all live in and amongst it under the careful eye of like these machine enforcers that make sure everybody stays in line. It's a weird punk rock universe, the likes of which I don't think I've ever seen in a video game. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, I value the inherent quality that is sort of bestowed upon something novel. I think that's a very, very rare thing in indie gaming nowadays. I think indie gaming, as larger publishers have started to move in, and they've started to like pillage and maraud and sort of get all these titles that look like pixel art indie games but have like $2 million worth of funding behind them and stuff like that. I've seen a move away from titles like Death Trash. I've seen a move away from titles like Neo Scavenger or Astronauts. In circa 2011, everybody was making weird stuff, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. And it was a really great time to be an indie gamer. Not so much in 2023. Everything nowadays seems to be very risk-averse and seems to be very genre-adherent. It's always like a Metroidvania. It's always a very specific roguelitification of like a popular casino game. I like games like this that are weird, where you can see the touchstones that they're playing with regards to RPG mechanics, but also it's cutting off narratively in its own direction in a very interesting way with sort of like a Fleshpunk spin-off. And so I figured we'd show the game off. I'm a big believer in this game. I do think that the developer is the kind of guy that is a perfectionist. He wants everything to be exactly right in a world full of games that frequently come out underproved and undercooked. I think that erring on the side of caution and taking that extra little bit of time in order to deliver something polished and something awesome is a really good idea. So let's play the game for about 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or if you wanted to pass on it. If after watching, the early access is available down below in the description of this video for your perusal to check on out. On top of that, you will also be able to find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live as well. YouTube has been really unreliable as a platform lately for me as a content creator. They've been making a lot of decisions surrounding the way ads and ad blocking and everything else are concerned that have left me very, very worried that they don't particularly have a whole lot of vision for the platform and they don't exactly know where the boat is headed. And so I've always tried to have eggs in other baskets where I can still interact with you guys and still do gaming stuff because I love it and care about it. So as previously mentioned, in Death Trash, you are a wanderer. You wake up inside of this bunker facility, and you're the last person in a cryopod. Everything is falling apart. You get out of that cryopod. You come out to a wasteland where everything appears to be being consumed by a flesh creature that inhabits the entire core of the planet or something. There are strange beasties and monsters everywhere. Because you've been asleep for so long, you've effectively forgotten yourself, and you're kind of like the perfect RPG blank slate to continue forward. And as of right now, I'm trying to figure out the mystery of the flesh. That's the entire storyline. Very, very early on in the game, you're going to be introduced to an interesting character called the Flesh Kraken, which is a giant octopus made out of hamburger meat that's lonely because he can't detach himself from a wall and he just wants a friend. And in the process of trying to find him a friend from all the neighboring areas, you will slowly become a fleshmancer, someone that has the capability of speaking with the flesh, of talking to the flesh monsters, of communicating with them, and also traveling inside their strange flesh monster. Oh my god. Okay, you need to get out of here. That hurt like hell, and I enjoyed it none. But you'll learn the ability to become one with the flesh and figure out why it's consuming the earth, what its ultimate goals are. Right now, I don't want to spoiler too much because this game is super heavily storyline based. But anyways, right now I am doing the bidding of the Flesh Kraken. How many times can you say that about a video game? Like, yeah, you know, I played an RPG and I spent the entire time in the service of a giant squid made out of hamburger meat that I actually kind of empathized with and thought was kind of cute, even though he was big and greasy and terrifying, because I just wanted to help him find a friend. And an entire storyline evolves from that plot point. Quite an original premise, if I do say so myself, considering I spend a lot of time playing indie games and titles like this. I see a lot of things that are just like, it's another fantasy RPG. Look, dwarves. Look, elves. Look, orcs, swords, they're shiny and they have a fire enchantment. That's fine, like I still enjoy those. The novelty hasn't completely and totally run off for me yet, but I enjoy stuff like this far, far more, even if it's more flawed than the fantasy titles in question, because I put a lot of value on novelty and an interesting experience that I've never experienced before. Nonetheless, in the service of the Flesh Kraken, I am now adventuring. I am now open world exploring. We'll take a look at the world map in just a little bit. I'm leveling up. I'm getting stronger. I've resolved quests. I'm happy to say that in the 4 hours that I've played the game so far, all of the quests have been pretty satisfying. This is a game world that doesn't take itself super seriously, but at the same time has a serious atmosphere and theme. It's one of the few games that I've ever seen that actually captures the vibe of Fallout 1 very, very well. So Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, the original Fallouts before Bethesda got their grimy hands on them, those games were beloved because they were serious, but they were also, like, really hilarious. Like, some of the writing in the original Fallouts was really well read. Like, you could tell whoever their writer was a big reader and had read a lot of literature, and there were lots of these little references and things on in there. And so it was a game that was full of lots of smart humor. Or maybe it just seemed super smart because I was 15 when I played through it. I don't know. But either way, the early Fallout games always had a mixture of seriousness and also of comedy and sort of humor that always worked on a really, really good level. It was always a solid blend. This may be one of the few games I think I've played that has found that kind of middle ground and has staked a flag on it and managed to maintain that atmosphere and that motif the entire time. I'm killing a lot of stuff inside of here, and honestly, that has made this game sort of one of those things that I've really enjoyed playing. That's a really hard mixture to get down. Most game universes are like serious or they are funny, but they don't pull off like both because like one sort of dispels the other. It's possible for funny things to happen in serious situations, but if that jumps the shark, then the game becomes comedy. Likewise, vice versa, you end up with something grimdark if the seriousness overtakes what little comedy there is. It's hard to find that balance of a game that's tongue-in-cheek while having a serious atmosphere too, and so I think I found that with this title. Right now I'm diving down into a bunker because they said I would find a profit down here or something like that. I failed at lockpicking. That lockpicking minigame is actually pretty gnarly. Let me see if I can get it. Got it. Oh man, I had to like hold my breath. I was like chewing on my tongue all the way inside my mouth and everything. We got some free mechanics though right there. As far as the game is concerned, I'm probably around level 5 or level 6 right now. Hold on, I got a yak. There we go. Throwing up. This game is kind of like booger punk grossness, like a Garbage Pail Kids game. You've got to throw up. So there's no mana in this game, but you do have special powers. You do have abilities and things that you can do. All of those abilities and also healing yourself were I to take some of the flesh that I harvested off of a wall somewhere. It fills up these pips right here. This is your toxicity level. The entire universe is toxic and everybody, you know the South Park episode where everybody has to shit out of their mouth because they've been eating in their butts? And every now and again they just have to stop what they're doing and be like, bleh. This game is kind of like that. Everybody in the world is addicted to the flesh meat that grows out of the walls, and it's the only food source left in like this nuclear irradiated apocalypse, but it slowly makes you sick over the course of like a few days of eating it. And so people in this game will just be like talking to you normally and then just be like, blah, and like yak on the ground like, sorry, I had dinner last night. It's part of the theme of the universe. He's dead. Oh no, the Oracle's dead, dude? Looks like he was murdered. Yeah, he definitely... We're going to eat him? All right, fair enough. What does this do? Initiating data terminal. 1 recording available. Command. Give me the details of your recording. Recording of habitant death available. Extract a data container? Yes. Processing. Data container processed. All right, philosopher death recording. Command? Do you have any... Well, there's no list of commands. So I guess we're probably not going to be able to do too much right there. But it does look like our adventure down here into the Prophet's Cave was successful. Your character does have a number of things. The character building in this game is not incredibly complex. So this is what the inventory looks like here. You've got 5 different gear slots. You've got melee weapon, ranged weapon. You've got headpiece, chest piece, and trinket. I haven't gotten any trinkets yet. I found where they're sold, but I've been spending all of my money on bullets because this is one of those games where melee is... not a great idea a lot of the time, but simultaneously, it's one of those games that likes to starve you for bullets, so you never feel like you have ammo for anything. And so I've been spending a lot of my money on bullets. You've got body implants right here, so 6 of them. They give you different powers. They'll allow you to go stealthy. They'll allow you to do all kinds of random little things. We also have memory slots right here, where as you witness things in the game world, you can slot them into slots over here, which will give you little buffs, or they will make certain things happen. If you have them like slotted in at certain times or for certain interactions, it'll give you like a pass in dialogue or whatever because you remember that thing that happened that's directly applicable. These are resources for the crafting system in the game. The crafting system in the game is... a lot of like breaking things down and then making your own ammo out of random stuff that you find all over the place. I'm always a little bit choked for metal, which I wish I had a lot more of. On top of the implants and the armor and everything else, you do have stats in this game. You do have XP. So you've got constitution, strength. You've got dexterity, magic, cyber tech, and empathy, which are basically like the core stats from D&D, from, you know, wisdom all the way down to charisma. You've got skills over here. There's not a huge amount of them, but they do seem to matter. These things get referenced fairly frequently from what I've seen, so the ones that you pick do seem to be consequential in the way that you're going to move through the game. So I took lockpicking because there's just something that makes my ass itch about leaving loot behind in an RPG. I'm incapable of it. And so I've learned just right at the outset to always take lockpicking, even if my choice of skills is hyper limited and it's a game like Colony Ship or Age of Decadence. I still take lockpicking. I can't help it. I can't leave loot on the table. I can't do it. Every zone does have a map. You can explore that map. You can clear out the fog of war. The maps in this game tend to be multi-purpose too, so look around. Like, just because they sent you there specifically for a quest does not mean that that quest is the only thing to do inside of that zone. That zone is not just there for that specific quest. It may have like one or two other interactions in it too, or like people you can meet, or something you can loot, or like little camps or something like that that you can play around with. So make sure you look around, make sure you explore. Definitely seems to be worth it some of the time, but I think for now we need to head out of this zone because I think we got what we wanted, which was basically the recording of the philosopher dying. I don't know if there's going to be more stuff around here. The game also has little details like water and blood spreading when you walk through it. So if you walk through a blood puddle and you walk out of said blood puddle, you will leave bloody footsteps all over the place for a little while. That's a flesh beast right there. You can like try to tame it, and they sell for like 20 bucks if you can get them to a store that's like in town. It's up to you. I try to tame all of them because they don't hit that hard and they're worth a lot of money. And money's kind of hard to come by in this game, so an extra 20 bucks for turning in a bunch of dog-sized leeches made out of blood and hamburger meat seems like a decent exchange. I mean, it's an interesting economy if nothing else. This is the world map, if you've never seen it before. This is the first zone. There's also a transition into a second zone down here. The first zone probably took me roughly, I would say about 4 hours to get through with where I am right now. I don't know how much more content is left here, but I do need to go tell the witch that told me to go find the philosopher that the philosopher is super deadzos and see what she wants me to do next. Some maps, they do have these little teleport spots because some of the maps are quite sprawling. They've got these little teleport spots that allow you to get around the map faster to places where you know NPCs you need to talk to or stores you want to interact with are. For right now, I went to the wrong one, but this is the lady I gotta talk to. You've returned. The philosopher's dead. Dead? Holy flesh, that can't be. Is he? She looks down in silence. How did it happen? Not quite sure. I found this recording extracted from the machine the philosopher was connected to. Let me see. This works as a world config container. We could build a cyberwomb module from that to experience the recording. I'll let you do it. Head over to the master processor over there. Oh, cool. There's stuff on the ground. I want it. Give it to me. All right. Command. I have a recording. Examining. Processing recording. Processing the record. Recording processed. All right. Well, apparently we've got like our thing done over here. Now what do I do? What's up? I recreated the cyberwomb module of the recording. That's good to hear. Oh yeah, my character's name is Cheekman. Let's take a look at it together. I wonder what we'll encounter. You've ever been to a cyberwomb before? I spent my entire life in an omniwomb. That's similar enough. Follow me. Everybody in this game universe woke up in one of the sarcophagi or whatever that we woke up inside of. So there's kind of like, it's not like RimWorld where some people don't know what a crypto sarcophagi is because they're primitive or whatever. This is a game where like everybody came from the same origin source, the same Eden. So they'll mostly understand the things you refer to. Hold on, there's loot over here. I can smell it. Yup, there's a nano health injector. Did that give me enough metal where I can make another set of bullets? How much metals do I have? Oh, just the one. That's not great. I do have an extra shotgun, though. 2 extra shotguns. Could break those down. There we go. It's not going to get me to the fanciful next rifle bullet, but it's okay for now. Let's enter the cyberwomb. Do you want to launch the module? All right. Yeah, that one. Oh, that's a cool effect. I dig that right there. Alright, we've entered on into the cyberwomb. It's been a while since I was in here. Where are we exactly? This is the cyberwomb of the Philosopher's Lair. Near possible representation, anyways. Our bodies are safe while we're in here, right? Oh, yeah. It's full of virtual sensory experience like the Omniwomb. Nothing happens to your real body. Alright, good to know. So what do we do here? We're examining the last remnants of the Philosopher. Let's explore. All right, well, can I, like, loot inside this environment? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm pretty greedy, and that's one of my favorite... Oh, that doesn't look good. Welcome, Fraction. Who are you? I'm the feeder. Why feeder? Because of her. She was my stars, and now she's the black sky flickering and drifting into the darkness. Soon, unreachable for me. I'm not ready for this. I'll punch the ever-growing heart so that it will pump again. The ever-growing heart? You don't know anything, do you? I'll get them one by one until I know where the heart is. Kill them all if I have to. You should be thanking me. What good would this world be if the flesh dies? A dead planet, humans crawling on it like maggots. But enough for now. Leave me be. The feeder. Yeah, I heard him. Let's go back to the physical world. So as you can see, there's a big chunk of narrative in this game. And the narrative is quite interesting and unique. It's all got a sort of Aeon Flux meets like Oddworld meets like Xenoclash meets like Fallout. It's a weird game that's intersecting on a lot of random little cultural touchstones. Welcome back. What now? Well, we gotta find the Oracle before the feeder does. The best bet is discovering the Oracle is to act around a busy place. Travel south, go to Puke Bar, and check there. And I know there's a cyber womb in the Puke Bar too. You'll find a power module for it in the underground here in the old trees. I'll give you this virtual representation of old trees, and then we can use this as a meeting point. The cyber wombs over there and the ones here are connected. Good luck. Thank you. So wait, do I have to go get the power thing, or is she just gonna give it to me? It was on the altar over here. I remember because I'm a loot gremlin. When I came in here, I looted it not knowing what it was for because it was shiny and it was sitting on an altar. Teehee. All right, well, this is one of those times where my greed has apparently saved me a bunch of time. On the world map, you travel normally. There will occasionally be randomized Fallout-style events, if you remember some of the ones that would pop up while you were driving your car and sort of exploring the world. This game has exactly the same thing. Occasionally, there will be a big red circle that'll appear. It'll chase you down. And it'll be either an event or an anomaly. One of those two things. So like this guy over here. We have ourselves an encounter. Who are we up against? Looks like we're up against a bunch of flesh monsters. So that's not quite so bad. We'll go ahead and just light them up with the old boomstick real fast. And then we'll get them with a little bit of melee right there. Enemies only get stun locked the first 1 or 2 times that you hit them. So be careful. Don't try to, like, chain too many attacks on them. It's also a good idea every time you get one of these encounters to look around. The map that it generates does occasionally have, like, some kind of looting node on it that you can take a look at to get, like, some extra metal or some extra wood or some extra whatever else. You just got to keep an eye out for it. It does look like we have a little nook down here, too. I'm kind of a completionist, so I like to finish all these zones and things before I go on to, like, the next area. I know it's going to let me come back, but I have to do everything in the previous lower level area, 100% completion before I can move on to the next area. This has been tremendously prohibitive on my ability to enjoy games. Sometimes it devolves into almost like an OC, almost like a compulsion. Like I have to do it, otherwise it annoys me. What are we doing here? I don't see anything. Are you a good guy? Stranger, okay. That person's not going to try to shoot me. You might laugh, but about 80% of everybody you find out in the wasteland is probably trying to murder you and eat you. So, hey, stop that. I don't remember if it's ever rained here. I guess it's just a random NPC. I don't know. Doesn't look like they interact with anything. We've got the exit over on that side. Looks like up and around this way. Do we have anything? Well, I took a run around. Oh, we got bad guys. There we go. I was going to say, we got bad guys. I'm going to go ahead and, like, gat them up real quick. I do have special powers, too. Hold on. Let me put my lightning on. There we go. That'll help out a little bit. Got them all. Combat in this game does feel meaty. It does feel chunky. It does feel like it's designed well. Everything from the shooting to the melee feels all right as long as you accept that this title does not have an incredibly in-depth combat system. This is not going to be a game with a cover system. This is not going to be one of those games that gets tremendously sophisticated with regards to the things that's attempting to do when it comes to the combat focus of the game. It is a reasonably combat-heavy game, but honestly, I would almost call it an action RPG if we were taking only the combat into account. Like, you left click to swing your sword, you hold down right click to shoot a gun. That's it. There's not really too much more complication in it outside of that and like evading the enemy's fire. So if you're looking for something that's got tremendously in-depth content with lots of moving parts and interactable mechanics, probably not going to be the game for you, in all honesty, just because the combat focus of the game, it is a pretty combat-heavy game, despite the fact that it's also a pretty narrative-heavy game. So if you're looking for something really, really complex and you don't care about the storyline, might not be the right game for you. But really, I think that's my only observations. The game has a pretty simple combat system by comparison to how fleshed out, and I don't mean that in a punny way, the world seems to be. Been attacked a couple times on the road now. All right, well, looks like we found everything over that way. I don't know what's going to happen on this side. I don't really have any ammo, which sort of concerns me. So hopefully I don't get instantly attacked when I try to go through the pass over here, because I need a second to craft. I think we have enough metal right now. I don't want to salvage my rifle, but I do want to make some more rifle bullets for sure. So we've got some more rifle bullets ready to go. Let's equip the rifle just in case we need to engage from a distance. You can re-equip any weapon in your inventory by holding down the C button too. So the game does have a pretty solid chunk of quality of life. That looks like a landmine or something. Is that what that is? Yup, landmine. All right. That's a cool explosion effect. I like that one. That looked good. We've got metal over here and some booze. Good. Got some wood right there. Don't really need the wood. I've been getting a ton of wood in this game, and I mean that in the nicest, most PG-rated way. I just sell most of it. Oh, we got bad guys over here. That guy's only got a club, though. Let's get him with the shotgun. The game does have a lot of profanity, though, so watch out for that. Probably not a great game to let the little ones watch you play. We'll go ahead and grab... Hey, another health injector. Ashes to ashes and flesh to flesh. Flesh to flesh makes it sound kind of like sexual, though, you know, like it's got like that biblical sexy time vibe to it, like that flesh of my flesh thing going on. Is that a shotgun? Oh, no. Yes, it is a shotgun. Ooh, these guys seem a little tough, or probably zap him, maybe. I'm using up all my shotgun shell. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, this is going exceptionally terribly. Never mind the... Ow! Okay, all right. I need my rifle, please. Rifle's good. Oof. You do get iframes when dodging enemy gunfire, by the way. You've got to time your dodge roll properly. So we got an old rifle right there. Dude, I'm beat to hell right now. That was rough. We did get some bullets back for it, though, which is really, really nice. We'll grab some of those goodies right there. Grab the brains. We'll probably end up eating them, I think. Oh, no, the brains are a crafting material. That's right. So we want to eat that right there. We're going to need a yak because we're getting too full on corruption. Go ahead and yak real quick. Grab another pile of organs, get our health back. You can, by the way, your puke is a pick-upable item. You can pick up your own vomit. A mask of understanding gives me biological resistant. Household wares, some gemstones. Good. I definitely need more money. I need a lot more money. So let's get the shotgun out real quick. That was a... Are you sure? Because I feel like you were about to hit me with what appears to be like an engine block on a stick. And so I think it was a really good idea to shoot you. 24 gold right there. I might be able to go shopping finally. Inventory's full, so unfortunately we're going to have to get rid of some of these guns in order to make room for some of the other things around. You do have a house in this game. It does have storage inside of it. I'm a pack rat, all right? I'm a pack rat. I carry things around with me. I can't help it. We should have enough metal to make another batch of bullets. Like I said, dude, if you're going to play this game, you're going to be out of ammo all the time. I am constantly surviving by the skin of like 3 bullets, and then I get just enough materials to make myself like 10 more bullets, or I have just enough money to get myself like 15 more bullets, and then it's back to the old grindstone and trying to melee things. I would definitely recommend taking a melee skill in this game. I would recommend it highly. I don't know what glibber is for. They say it's a crafting material, but I haven't found the recipe that it goes to yet. It comes out of those weird little spitting Tiberium flower things. Oh, shit. They've got another guy with a gun, huh? All right. Fair enough. Oh, yeah, that's the exploding guy. Forgot about him. All right, so we need to dodge in on this lady. Get her with the lightning. Get her with a couple of these. Unfortunately, that hurt a lot. We did get some bullets right there, which is nice. We got some organs. And, you know, time to yak again. I've been leaving a lot of my DNA all over the ground in this game. And I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just like, man's got to eat, you know? You got to make room in order for the new healing stuffs to go on in. Some trash and some nano health right there. What an oddly shaped zone. The flesh is bound to the weave with barbed wire. Ouch. Get my rifle. All right. Actually, I should probably use a pistol for this. I've got loads and loads of pistol bullets, and you can't salvage them or anything. So, might as well. Wait, is that a revolver? Why is that hitting so hard? Hold up. Why is that doing so much damage? Oh, it was a revolver. That's a tier 2 pistol. Oh, dude, I was going to buy that in town for like 150 bucks. I thought it was going to deal like 5 damage a shot. All right, cool. Well, apparently found a tier 2 pistol, which is just all kinds of, all kinds of great in my opinion. I got my timings wrong right there. It's okay. He still died. I can't eat his brains or anything just yet, though. Oh, but this is Death Trash. I think Death Trash is one of the most, in terms of theme, one of the most unique games on Steam. In terms of gameplay, still competent, still a fun game, and still a really fun narrative, in my opinion. If you're looking for a weird RPG, the likes of which there aren't too many out there, not a bad choice, in all honesty. Not a terrible pickup. Just be forewarned, development is slow on this one, because they are trying to make a bug-free, polished release every time they put out anything, and they've been kind of building up the technical scaffolding that the rest of the game is going to be built on top of for the last year or so. So that updates list is going to look a little underpopulated. However, based on what the developer said about a month or so ago at the end of October about how the technical overhaul and polish passes are basically done and they're getting ready to move on to content, I think it's a good time. You'll probably be able to catch it for a sale on the Steam Winter sale as well. And, you know, it'll kill a good solid 8 or 10 hours from what I've been hearing from other people thus far. I'm only about halfway on into that, so I can't vet it myself. But I've been very, very exploratory while playing the game, and I haven't felt a lack of things to do. So anyways, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block... Today, on the chopping block, apparently I was getting shot in the face with a grenade launcher, a weapon that I've never seen in game before, and thus did not know that they were going to try to kill me with. So that's a fun experience. There we go. Just detonate it all. See, I don't have to clear the same mobs again. I can clear it easily without spending any of my ammo. This time around, not a whole lot of updates to show for Death Trash. However, it's still a great game, and it's been long enough since I covered it last that, you know, just remind people that it exists. I'll catch y'all later, folks. Bye-bye.